From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Good Tuesday morning. Right now you're taking a live look at Pasco. This view coming courtesy of the Dust Devils. And a little bit later today there will be plenty of sunshine from this vantage point, just like about 95% of our viewing area. This morning it is cold. We're in the 30s in the Kittitas Valley, 20s and 30s in the Yakima Valley. So this is maybe where you would want to break out the ice scraper for this morning. Look at this in the Tri-Cities now. Even we have dipped into the upper 20s. So also ice scraper stuff here up towards Connell. The same thing applies. We're a little bit warmer in the foothills of the Blues with low 40s, but even that could feel a little bit cooler with some of these winds gusting between 10 to 15 miles per hour. Okay, in the periphery of our viewing area, we do have some pretty light showers for this morning, but in between the mountain ranges, it's dry. It's going to continue to stay dry throughout today. So the only coat you would need for today, no raincoat necessary, just a heavy jacket necessary for this morning, but light jacket weather a little bit later in the day. So today is going to be seasonal and sunny and mostly dry, but we have some big time chances for rainfall from Wednesday through Friday. I'll tell you how much rain, even a little bit of snow we're expecting, and that's going to be coming up on Good Morning Northwest, which starts right now.
Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, the city of Ellensburg is working to improve the environment, this through expanding their urban forestry. How exactly they're doing this is coming up. But first, the Spud Nut Shop is no longer just in Richland. Riley Fitzgerald has been at the new shop in Kennewick, and she takes us along. Plus, still ahead, Washington and Oregon officials are investigating ballot boxes that were set on fire, causing damage to hundreds of ballots. Through the story, Good Morning Northwest starts right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good Morning Northwest on your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal. It is Tuesday, October 29th. Happy Tuesday. We're going to start off with new this morning. It's an expansion after more than 3/4 of a decade. The Spud Nut Shop is no longer just in Richland. The new Kennewick shop off of Edison Street is now officially open as of 5 a.m. this morning. It was early, but that did not stop some Spud fans from being there, ready to see how this kitchen compares to the Richland one. Also, get this, a squad from the Kennewick Police Department rolled up in style right at 5 o'clock.
We heard it was opening today. We just really want to support local businesses. These are the people that call us for help, and the least we can do is help them out when we can.
I always love the good feeling, brings back a lot of memories from my grandma, always taking me there, especially my other two oldest brothers. So that's why it's a great memory just to have that feeling with the donuts.
The Spud Nut Shop will be open until 1 this afternoon, but they may sell out before then, so do get there quick. Also coming up tonight, our Riley Fitzgerald will bring us more about this new location. In environment news out of Ellensburg, the city's latest addition, Unity Park, is now providing the community with a half-acre gathering space. It's at 4th and Pearl Street, and it's located at the former Rotary Pavilion site, which has hosted community events and activities for 40 years. The planning started back in 2018. It's an almost $2.7 million project paid for through federal COVID relief funds. The new park has an open turf area, a performance stage, public restrooms, as well as tables and chairs.
Just seeing the look on people's face when they came and used it, and the smiles, and just the reception that it received at that event was kind of an affirmation that the design of the park is spot on.
The city is planning to hold future events at the park, including a movie night. In more environment news in Ellensburg, the trees aren't just pretty to look at. They're also hard at work cleaning stormwater and combating heat waves. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us the city is now working to expand its tree canopy.
The project's aimed at promoting urban forestry, the practice by which cities and communities care for their trees in order to improve the environment.
A lot of people take for granted the urban tree canopy, but the fact is that our urban trees provide an enormous amount of benefit, from cleaning our stormwater, providing a safe place, to the value of cooling our temperatures.
Ellensburg working to expand, using $40,000 from the Department of Natural Resources to inventory the tree canopy.
Our canopy inventory found about 10% of the city right now, 583 acres is covered, and it found a lot. About 43% of our city is open for areas to add trees.
The city using a $2.3 million ecology grant to fund its Gateway 1 project,
where they have built in infrastructure, everything from sidewalks for people to walk to actually planting trees that'll grow 35 feet and cool the temperatures. But at the same time, these ginkgo trees are going to capture polluted stormwater, clean it, and so it safely goes back into the system, not harming fish and wildlife.
Plus $273,000 DNR grant for the city to create an urban and community forestry plan. Ellensburg also working on a project to fill in the gap in the Palouse to Cascades Trail.
Since about 2001, we've had a plan to reconnect the trail all the way around the north end of the city, and then recently we got a TIB grant to finish the section near CWU on the kind of the east side of their campus and connected to the Palouse to Cascades Trail. So it's just a great final piece to connect the east side, but now we want to connect the west side. But this section that we built here, we planted about 200 trees. Created a beautiful linear park.
The city working to apply for a $12 million EPA grant to fund the remainder of the project. DNR pushing for equitable access to trees across all neighborhoods, because trees can reduce heating costs and the shade they provide can help combat the heat.
All we have to do is look back to 2021 with the heat dome, where we lost over 112 people's lives to increasing heat. In that case, we had places within our state where you might have, like in the city of Seattle or other cities, a 13-degree difference in temperature between a low-income community color and a wealthy white community. A difference of 13 degrees is truly a difference in saving a life.
We have more information about those projects on our website, applevalleynewsnow.com. In Ellensburg, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Thank you, Emily. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, hundreds of ballots have been damaged after ballot boxes were set on fire in both Washington and Oregon. And police are on the lookout for a specific car. We have the latest developments coming up. But first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your weather forecast. Keep it here. We will be right back.
The last few years have been tough on Washington families who are facing record prices, and wages just haven't kept up. But it's been a great few years for Congressman Dan Newhouse. Since he first got elected in 2015, his net worth has climbed from $2 million to almost $19 million. How'd he do that? By trading stocks of corporations that he votes to give billions of taxpayer dollars. It's time to put an end to Congressman Dan Newhouse's stock market hot streak.
I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Democrat candidate Maria Beltran led a liberal Seattle group that tried to defund police and allowed chaos and violence to take over the streets. Like Beltran, House candidates Anna Kennedy and Chelsea Demas oppose initiatives that would lower gas prices, end the capital income tax, and allow you to opt out of the expensive long-term care tax. Seattle liberals Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas do not share your values and are too extreme for Central Washington.
Yakima County deserves a leader who listens and puts our community first.
Hi, I'm Kyle Curtis, honored to serve you as your Yakima County Commissioner.
Under Kyle's leadership, Yakima County has invested smartly in housing solutions, reduced homelessness, and streamlined local government to better serve you.
I'm eager to keep working on what matters most to our community.
Join me on November 5th in voting for Kyle Curtis for County Commissioner. Leadership that listens, leadership that delivers results.
Ever feel like something's missing? Like there's a hole in your morning routine? Well, we've got just the thing. At Some Bagels, we make more than fresh bagels. We make a variety of baked goods to fill your day with everything you've been missing. Have your favorite coffee drink with our in-house roasted espresso beans. And enjoy your bagel with our flavored cream cheeses. Because at Some Bagels, the only thing better than the hole in the middle is everything around it. I want some, you want some, we want some. Gimme Some Bagels.
18 years, 32 years, 20 years, 35 years.
A job not only supports a family, but it gives you dignity. I'm Maria Beltran. With warehouses closing and hundreds of jobs lost, it's time we elect a fighter. Like so many of us, my family struggles to keep up with the cost of groceries and afford rent. Your family's struggles are my family's struggles. I'll work hard for you in Olympia.
Paid for by Friends Maria Beltran.
Smoke City for Less. We are open 7 days a week with now 5 locations.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's take a bit of a temperature tour this morning as it is cold. Well, it's really cold across the map, but you can see here in the Kittitas Valley, 38 in Ellensburg. We're right at freezing up at the pass, Snoqualmie Pass. So I'm thinking, well, you'll at the very least need a heavy jacket there. And in the Yakima Valley, there's an additional wrinkle as well, we're below freezing in Yakima and in Toppenish and in Sunnyside. So in those locations, that's maybe where you would want to break out the ice scraper, Grandview too. And then in the lower Columbia Basin, below freezing in the Tri-Cities, below freezing in Connell, pretty close in Mesa, and a little bit warmer than freezing for Umatilla and Hermiston. But in those areas, again, you would maybe want the ice scraper, but mostly too warm for that in the foothills of the Blues with temperatures in the 30s and 40s, 42 for Walla Walla, 41 for Milton for Uwater. But like I said, pretty much all of us need a heavy jacket for this morning. By 8 this morning, mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the 30s and 40s. By lunchtime, up into the low 50s for the most part, and then into the middle to upper 50s by 4 p.m. So for today, it's going to be seasonal. Most of us will have highs, like I just said, in the 50s. Winds will gust upwards of 20 miles per hour in the Blue Foothills. Should be light winds for the rest of us. And then for tonight, winds will be completely light across the map. Overnight lows dropping down into the 20s and 30s, which means that most of us will have to protect the outdoor pets, the plants, and the plumbing. And then our attention pivots to the storm system for Wednesday through Friday. I'll show you some of those shower chances, and I'll time it out. And all that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. In election news, Washington and Oregon officials are investigating after ballot boxes were set on fire, damaging hundreds of ballots. Authorities say they've got a picture of a car they believe the suspect is driving. Shelby Slaughter has that photo and more on the investigation.
This is the picture. It appears to be a Volvo.
Police on the lookout for this vehicle, believed to be involved in 3 ballot box fires, all started by incendiary devices. One on October 8th in Vancouver, and 2 more overnight in both Vancouver and Portland.
The FBI is also running a separate but parallel investigation.
In Vancouver, hundreds of ballots were potentially damaged in the fire. Crews working diligently to see which ballots can be saved. Over in Portland, a similar scene. The damage to the ballot box seen here. Multnomah County Elections Director Tim Scott telling K2 only 3 ballots were destroyed, thanks to fire suppressants installed for these exact scenarios.
We use canisters that have a powdered fire suppressant, so it limits the damage to ballots. It worked exactly as it was supposed to, and coated the entire inside of the box with that dry chemical suppressant.
With multiple ballot boxes now the scene of crimes, I asked officials what charges this suspect faces.
The charges, and this is just potential, possession of a destructive device, manufacturing of a destructive device, unlawful use of a weapon, criminal mischief in the first degree, reckless burning, obstructing governmental or judicial administration, and illegal acts related to voting machines or vote tally systems.
Multnomah County District Attorney's Office is also investigating this case. And coming up next, the Tri-City Americans are on a hot streak after winning their last 7 games in a row. We hear from the head coach on why he thinks they're doing so well. That is after the break.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
Hi, I'm Carrie Isaacson, and I'm running for State Senate from the 16th District. Unlike my opponent, who's aligned with the extreme far right and anti-women's health care, I believe in practical solutions that put people first. I'll fight for better health care and good paying jobs. I'm a moderate Democrat who believes that our district must be at the table in Olympia, and it's not. Vote Carrie Isaacson, State Senate.
Nutcracker Magical Christmas Ballet celebrates the season with America's favorite holiday tradition. Gather your loved ones and be enchanted by an all-star international cast. Returning to the Capitol Theater November 18th and 19th. Tickets at nutcracker.com.
Family history and lifestyle are two big risk factors that determine if you get breast cancer. Healthy eating and a good night's sleep could help prevent it.
Prosser Memorial Health, now scheduling mammograms with your health and safety in mind. This is how we care.
The last few years have been tough on Washington families who are facing record prices, and wages just haven't kept up. But it's been a great few years for Congressman Dan Newhouse. Since he first got elected in 2015, his net worth has climbed from $2 million to almost $19 million. How'd he do that? By trading stocks of corporations that he votes to give billions of taxpayer dollars. It's time to put an end to Congressman Dan Newhouse's stock market hot streak.
I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99, Wednesdays only at KFC.
Thank you guys for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest and ABC's Good Morning America the most watched morning news on local TV.
Thank you.
What's new, what's now, and what's next? Plus first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Apple Valley News Now.
We're on your side.
On your side.
We're 2 shows away from Live's Only Halloween in the Building special. And next live, from Only Murders in the Building, Davine Joy Randolph, plus Robin Wright from Here.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
This newscast sponsored by Mariano Morales Law. From Apple Valley News Now, first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Today is going to be a dry and sunny day, and it's going to be cool, which means we're going to quickly pivot our attention to some much more active weather for Wednesday through Friday. Starting on Wednesday into Wednesday night, look at these shower chances. They are up there. So in all likelihood, pretty much all of us are going to see wet weather. And the timing of that would be around 8 a.m. and afterwards for the Cascades, after 11 a.m. for the valleys, after 2 p.m. for the basin, and after 5 p.m. for the foothills. If we tabulated some of the rainfall projections we're expecting for Wednesday through Friday, and again, this is subject to change, but the model consensus thinks 1.5 inches for the Blues, 1 inch for the Cascades, between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch for the Blue Foothills, and between 1/4 to 1/2 inch for the valleys and for the basin. Also, there's going to be a bit of a wintry element to the storm system, as for Wednesday and Thursday, snow levels are going to bounce between 3,500 to 4,500 feet. So by 5 in the morning on Thursday, places like Cabbage Hill off of Interstate 84, Meacham, also off of I-84, Ukiah could see that brief transition of snow, but it's looking like snowfall accumulations in totality aren't going to be that much from Wednesday through Friday, maybe a couple inches for a Cascade passes, less than 1 inch for a Blue Mountain passes. But again, these are early preliminary snowfall projections, also based off of model consensus and also subject to change. So big time chances for wet weather Wednesday through Friday. You can see it's not going to be completely dry for this weekend, but definitely a lot drier. Temperatures are going to be seasonal for today, and after that, we're actually going to be below average for the next 6 to 7 days. We'll be about 5 degrees below average, so some pretty cool stuff in our forecast for the next week. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Shower chances go up on Wednesday, but especially for Halloween and Friday, turning drier into the weekend. In Yakima, wetter and cooler from Wednesday through Friday, staying cool for this weekend, but mostly drying things out by Saturday. Then for Ellensburg, cold showers on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just about as cool for this weekend, but not as wet. Then for Hermiston, showers arrive during the PM hours of Wednesday, but ramp up for Halloween and Friday. This weekend should be much drier. And then for Walla Walla, chances for wet weather peak this week on Halloween and Friday. Leftover showers for Saturday through Monday, but drier overall.
Thank you, Josh. In sports news this morning, the Tri-City Americans are on a hot streak, winning their last 7 games in a row. In 6 of those games, the Americans have outscored their opponents 31-20. The team improved their record on the season to 8-3-1. They've also climbed up to 3rd place in the U.S. division. Head coach Stu Barnes says the difference in this year's team compared to last year's squad is resilience and composure.
They seem to really stick together. They seem to really, like I said, want to be successful as a group and as a team, and they're willing to kind of, be patient through those ups and downs and just keep playing the same way. And in the end, it seems to be working. Again, I'm sure we'll be making adjustments as we move forward, but really, really proud of the boys.
The Americans got their 7th win in a row by defeating the Edmonton Oil Kings last night. It was a nail-biter, beating the Oil Kings 6-5. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, whether you were a fan of NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys growing up, a new documentary is coming out soon that will have you feeling nostalgic. Plus news about another Jumanji sequel. We have all those details coming up in your entertainment headlines.
For 17 years, Senator Curtis King has delivered for you. That's why the media calls Curtis King the Republican in Olympia most likely to pass a bill. Senator King uses those relationships to do things like fund a new swimming pool in Yakima's MLK Park and helped Heritage University in the Lower Valley grow. Curtis King helped Toppenish Astria Hospital keep their doors open. And he delivered funding for Pasco's Lewis Street project.
I'm Senator Curtis King, and I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
Too busy being busy? Then it's about time you got lazy. Real lazy. And shop the brands that invented truly comfortable furniture. So kick your feet up, because Lazy Boy is now at Furniture Row. Browse and drowse in our collection of stylish and customizable recliners and sofas, and experience the durability and relaxation you've come to expect from Lazy Boy. Plus, unwind guilt-free with special no-interest financing. Here's to doing less in some well-deserved comfort with the Lazy Boy collection, now at Furniture Row.
Hi, I'm Deb Mangeras, and as a longtime CPA, I can assure you, Olympia needs to tighten its belt. That's why I'm running for the House of Representatives. I've been a Wapato resident and apple orchardist all my life, and I have been active for decades in my community, helping make this a better place to live. Now I want to represent you in Olympia, to bring common sense and hardworking values to the Capitol.
Join me November 5th in voting for Deb Mangeras.
It's painfully obvious that Jared Sessler's 30% national sales tax will drive up prices. Prices will go up 30% on groceries, gas, bills, and even houses. Inflation is bad enough. Just imagine paying 30% more. Sessler supports a massive 30% tax increase on everything you buy. You can't afford Jared Sessler, Mr. 30%. National Interest Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
27 years ago, I lived in these apartments, and for 27 years, I've seen streets go without repair. I've seen places like Columbia Fruit Packers lay off workers. Some of my neighbors have driven to Seattle for decent medical care because MAGA extremists like my opponent Deb care more about power and controlling women's bodies than getting results. I am ready to go to the west side because it's time to get results for the east side. I hope to earn your vote.
Be sure and vote. Mail-in ballots must be postmarked by November 5th.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. In entertainment news, we're looking at a documentary that's larger than life.
Also, another Jumanji movie, so here's everything you need to know about what's happening in Hollywood.
I love boy bands. I'm proud to say I'm in a boy band.
Whether you prefer Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, Paramount Plus has an upcoming documentary for you. Larger Than Life, Reign of the Boy Bands will debut November 12th.
Baby, bye, bye, bye. The rest is history.
The doc traces the genre from the Beatles and Jackson 5 to today's K-pop groups via interviews with members of Backstreet and NSYNC, New Kids on the Block, 98 Degrees, New Edition, and more.
I think we're in the game.
So, excuse me?
What are you talking about?
Ready to get back in the game? Jumanji 3 is hitting theaters December 11th, 2026. The cast, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan are all in talks to return. The most recent film in the franchise, Jumanji: The Next Level, came out in 2019.
Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
After 15 weeks, Shabuzi's A Bar Song, Tipsy, has finally toppled out of the #1 slot. It's Wallen's second #1 debut of 2024, following I Had Some Help.
Boy his age, he's probably just playing hooky.
Just find my son.
And Stranger Things star Winona Ryder is 53 today. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
All right, Josh, were you obsessed with the boy band growing up? Mine was NSYNC, for sure.
No, I mean, kind of the complex when you're like growing up as a boy is all the girls like all the boy bands. You get really jealous and pretend like you're not jealous.
But you secretly do like them. Because you were just singing Larger Than Life.
Yeah, I think boy bands can produce some good music.
Yep.
One Direction and NSYNC.
Okay, how do you feel about the Jumanji movies? Because I find them hilarious.
You're not gonna like this. I haven't seen them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's exciting for you because now you're going to laugh your butt off. So there you go.
Yes.
Well, coming up next on Good Morning Northwest at 6:30, the Spud Nut Shop is no longer just in Richland. They're opening up several new locations across the Tri-Cities over the next few weeks. So up next, Riley Fitzgerald joins us again and takes us back into the kitchen.
There was a time when you could get a complete meal for just $5, but you gotta go way back. Well, just a Tuesday. Yes, Tuesdays at A&W, single Papa Burger combos complete with fries and a root beer cost just $5. This all-time great deal is available Tuesdays only at A&W.
The last few years have been tough on Washington families who are facing record prices, and wages just haven't kept up. But it's been a great few years for Congressman Dan Newhouse. Since he first got elected in 2015, his net worth has climbed from $2 million to almost $19 million. How'd he do that? By trading stocks of corporations that he votes to give billions of taxpayer dollars. It's time to put an end to Congressman Dan Newhouse's stock market hot streak.
I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Two candidates. With our border in crisis, Dan Newhouse votes for common sense border security. Jared Sessler recklessly wanted to defund the Border Patrol. Newhouse serves on a powerful committee that protects our dams and ag economy. Sessler backs taxes and fees to make food more expensive. That hurts our farmers and ranchers. And Sessler backs a 30% sales tax on everything. There's only one choice for Central Washington: Dan Newhouse.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message.
Yakima County deserves a leader who listens and puts our community first.
Hi, I'm Kyle Curtis, honored to serve you as your Yakima County Commissioner.
Under Kyle's leadership, Yakima County has invested smartly in housing solutions, reduced homelessness, and streamlined local government to better serve you.
I'm eager to keep working on what matters most to our community.
Join me on November 5th in voting for Kyle Curtis for County Commissioner. Leadership that listens, leadership that delivers results.
Liberal Democrats Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas support even no questions asked late-term abortions. They oppose measures that would lower taxes, make gas cheaper, and let you take home more of your paycheck. They would make your streets less safe, raise your gas prices, and encourage your children to disrespect faith, family, and America. Seattle liberals Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas do not share your values and are too extreme for Central Washington.
For 17 years, Senator Curtis King has delivered for you. That's why the media calls Curtis King the Republican in Olympia most likely to pass a bill. Senator King helped fund the Sozo Soccer Complex, giving local youth and adult soccer players a world-class recreational facility. Curtis King helped Perry Tech expand, providing thousands of local students with real-world skills, and he delivered funding for dozens of local road projects.
I'm Senator Curtis King, and I'd appreciate your support. Thank you.
KFC's fan favorite country fried steak is just $5.99 every Wednesday. It's a complete meal with your favorite sides. Best of all, it's just $5.99. Country fried steak, $5.99 Wednesdays only at KFC.
Hello there, watch live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Josh Colbert.
All right, Josh, it is freezing in here. It's freezing out there. I need my space heater right here, but it's, it's too short to reach the actual plug. So I'm just suffering this morning. And is it getting any better? Warmer,
no.
I guess, throughout the day.
No.
A tiny bit warmer?
I mean, it's going to get warmer later in the day, but like our overarching trend is that we're actually going to be getting a little cooler over the next 7 days.
Overarching, schmarching. Go ahead. Let us know
how the weather is. Let's go ahead and take a live look right now at Kennewick. This view coming courtesy of Yakima Federal. And yeah, like Jessica said, it's freezing in the studio. And it's freezing outside of the studio as well, as we are at 29 degrees in the Tri-Cities, 29 in Yakima. We're a little bit warmer in the Kittitas Valley, but you'll probably need an ice scraper in the Yakima Valley, in portions of the lower Columbia Basin, including up towards Connell. And it's a little bit warmer than that in the foothills of the Blues with low 40s. Does look like the wind gusts are starting to calm down just a little bit in the Blue foothills, but when you get some of those stronger gusts mixed in with some of the air temperatures, it could make it feel a little bit cooler out there. All right, so we're pretty dry for this morning. We do have some light showers on the periphery of our viewing area, but in between the mountain ranges, we're dry. Here's your hour by hour for today for the Tri-Cities. We'll continue to keep it dry, mostly sunny, if not completely sunny skies for today, and it will be brisk as we're going to end up being seasonal, so right on par for the end of October. But of course, we are tracking some big time rain chances as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but we'll retroactively look back at that Sunday and Monday storm system, and I'll show you what that did to our drought situation. So that is going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now we start this half hour off in education news. Many Richland parents are upset with the Richland School District and they're voicing their frustrations. Now this comes after a social media post took off over the weekend about the district sending out a letter to a number of current paraeducators saying RSD plans to eliminate basic education hours within the bargaining unit. Now, we reached out to the district for a comment, and they said in response to current financial constraints and budget challenges, the district has made the difficult decision to reduce staffing. They've reduced staff mainly through attrition, cutting district administration by 22.5% and principals by 4%. Parents our team spoke to say they're worried the cuts will impact students.
I was shocked. I know quite a few people who are either paraeducators or have been, and I have been able to see firsthand, like, how much of a difference good paraeducators make, like, huge difference. They're not just, like, warm bodies in a classroom. They, like, actively care.
RSD also tells us that staff hired prior to August 26th will most likely not be impacted. Now check this out. The iconic Richland bakery, the Spud Nut Shop, is no longer just in Richland. They're opening up not one, but several new locations across the Tri-Cities over the next few weeks. Now the new Kennewick Spud Nut Shop off Edison Street officially opened this morning. Our Riley Fitzgerald says while the Richland Diner is staying the same, this new store is going to be a different mold. And she's taking us back to the kitchen.
It's opening day here at the Spud Nut Shop in Kennewick. I'm here with Mike, one of the co-owners, and we are going to do a little tour around the Kennewick kitchen because it is quite significantly different than the Richland one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the kitchen is almost the size of the whole Richland shop. So yeah, it's quite the kitchen.
Perfect. So we're going to take a tour. I'm going to step behind the camera so we can take a little step around. So let's start out with this corner. Mike, let's see.
The nice thing about this shop is we have space, right? This kitchen's going to help do our satellite locations. So this is going to help do 600 to 800 dozen, hopefully a day. You can see here we got our mixer and our baking table there where Alex is making some cinnamon rolls. And then we go over to our sheeter. Now this is what's delayed us for so long. This machine they don't make until you order, so that's what kind of delayed us in opening. We waited almost 8 weeks for this machine, but we got it up and running, and we're in the last 5 days getting it dialed in. Then we go over here is kind of like our icing glazing station with our fryer, the biggest fryer we could find. Right now we can do about 4.5 dozen at a time in it, which is way about double what we can do in the Richland shop. And then of course we have plenty of space for our racks, our icing station, our glazing station. Just doing this, we built the kitchen around the baking process rather than just kind of fit it in where we had to at the Richland shop.
Perfect. How many employees are going to be here?
Back here we'll probably have about 4 bakers going at once, and then we'll have about 3 up at the counter making coffee, energy drinks, and of course serving up spuds.
Perfect. And how will this ones serve the other locations?
So these ones will bake for those locations, provide spud nuts for those locations. We will get here early. We'll get them out the door fresh about 4 o'clock and have those other locations. One opening on Court Street in Pasco here in 2 weeks on November 12th, and then one on Chapel Hill in January. So we'll get those out the door at 4. Those stores will open at 5. We'll have fresh spuds ready to go.
Perfect. And what are the hours here?
The hours right now are going to be Tuesday through Saturday, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Perfect. All right. Do you have anything else to add?
No, just come on down and give us this try. If you haven't had spud nuts, we'd love to see you.
Thank you, Riley. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, ballot box fires in Washington and Oregon are bringing up many concerns regarding election security. This comes as 45 million Americans have already voted. We have a look at how law enforcement is handling this, among other concerns. That's after the break.
Hello there. Watch Live with Kelly and Mark.
Weekday mornings at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
It's the pre-Black Friday sale at Furniture Row, and that means the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or score 60 months, no interest. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. The pre-Black Friday sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Apple Valley News Now is home to top shows from ABC, like 911, the all-new Dr. Odyssey, and The Golden Bachelorette. And Apple Valley News Now is home to the #1 local morning newscast.
Now that's good.
Good Morning Northwest, followed by Good Morning America. Plus, we lead the way in sports with NFL Monday Night Football, college football, including the SEC, and the Seattle Kraken. Apple Valley News Now, proudly serving South Central Washington and Northern Oregon.
And we are on your side.
I got sandwiched between 2 trucks and trailers.
The insurance company tried to trick Michael.
The worst part was they hired a private investigator to stalk me for 2 years.
But he knew my number, 853-2222.
He taught him a lesson. We both taught him a lesson.
I made the insurance company pay.
He got me 5 times more than what I expected. This law firm is the best in Yakima, period.
The heavy hitter is one for you. Call 853-2222.
18 years, 32 years, 20 years, 35 years.
A job not only supports a family, but it gives you dignity. I'm Maria Beltran. With warehouses closing and hundreds of jobs lost, it's time we elect a fighter. Like so many of us, my family struggles to keep up with the cost of groceries and afford rent. Your family's struggles are my family's struggles. I'll work hard for you in Olympia.
Paid for by friends Maria Beltran.
Initiative 2124. It's purposely misleading. So here's what you need to know. Independent analysts say if I-2124 passes, it will bankrupt our affordable long-term care benefit, leaving millions of Washingtonians with no options but private insurance that charges way too much and routinely denies coverage to millions with pre-existing conditions. Don't let it happen. Protect your long-term care benefits. Vote no on I-2124.
It's the pre-Black Friday sale at Furniture Row, and that means the more you buy, the more you save. Save $100 on every $1,000 you spend, or score 60 months, no interest. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. The pre-Black Friday sale, on now at Furniture Row.
Thank you for making Apple Valley News Now's Good Morning Northwest and ABC's Good Morning America the most watched morning news on local TV.
Thank you so much.
What's new, what's now, and what's next? Plus, first alert weather every 10 minutes. Wake up with Apple Valley News Now.
On your side.
To celebrate the Kraken on Apple Valley News Now, we're giving you a chance to win Kraken swag. To enter, click on contests at applevalleyNewsNow.com. One person each month wins the swag. From Yakima Federal Savings and Loan, Legends Casino Hotel, and Prosser Memorial Health.
From Apple Valley News Now, first alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbert.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We'll take you on a tour of today's forecast, starting off in Kittitas County, where there's going to be a decent chance of showers this morning up in the Cascades, mainly before 8 this morning, but it should be dry in the Kittitas Valley. Plenty of sunshine. Highs today are going to end up in the mid-50s, at least in Ellensburg. Light winds today in Kittitas County. It's going to be the same thing in the Yakima Valley. We'll have high temperatures here that'll end up in the mid to upper 50s, 57 in Sunnyside, 57 in Toppenish. Plenty of sunshine for today. And then in the lower Columbia Basin, some of us are going to get real comfy with 60 degrees, 59 in the Tri-Cities, 58 for Hermiston. Also plenty of sunshine, also light winds. And then for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, this is where we could have some breezes, specifically around the Pendleton area, gusting out of the west and southwest upwards of 20 miles per hour. But other than that, the rest of the points remain the same, as we'll have high temperatures that'll be seasonal, and we'll have plenty of sunshine. And up in the higher terrain, a little chance of showers, again, mainly before 8 this morning. Speaking of wet weather, let's have a look back at that Sunday and Monday storm system. Let's show you what it did to our rainfall deficits for the season. We entered the storm system with deficits. The storm system left us behind with deficits, but we did make some progress, specifically in the valleys, as we cut into this number by about 15 to 25%, but not much doing for the basin or the foothills from this storm system. But this one for Wednesday through Friday looking a little more promising. I'll tell you how much rainfall we can maybe squeeze out of that one, and that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. We turn now to political news, and we're talking about election security. 45 million Americans have already voted ahead of next week's presidential election. And from fires at the ballot box to million-dollar giveaways, there's no shortage of concerns for law enforcement. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise with more.
This morning, concern about ballot security with drop boxes set on fire in the Northwest. Officers prying open this box in Vancouver, Washington, pulling out ballots still burning.
We do have smoke coming out of the ballot box.
Officials say hundreds were lost. And in nearby Portland, another fire.
Engine 21 respond to investigate an unknown flammable object being put inside of a drop box.
Officials credit fire suppressant in that box for saving 409 ballots. Only 3 were damaged.
Any form of voter intimidation, disruption, blocking of access, or vandalism at these sites will not be tolerated.
Authorities releasing this image of the suspect's Volvo. The 2 incidents are believed to be connected to a 3rd ballot box fire earlier this month. Meanwhile, other ballot security concerns are now the subject of legal battles. In Nevada, the state Supreme Court has ruled mail-in ballots arriving without a postmark can be counted up to 3 days after Election Day. And in Pennsylvania, Republicans are trying to block a ruling that would allow voters who fail to use the proper secrecy envelope for their mail-in ballots to still vote in person on Election Day.
Every day from now until the election, we're giving out $1 million prize.
Elon Musk also facing a new legal battle. Philadelphia's district attorney is suing Musk and his political action committee over his $1 million a day giveaway to registered voters. The DA not saying whether the giveaway violates election law, instead claiming it's an illegal lottery scheme.
As for the ballot box fires, 47 states have free ballot tracking services, which allows voters to confirm if their ballots have been mailed, received, and counted. Also, the envelopes have barcodes that can be tracked like packages. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, if you've ever had to deal with not getting your money back for a canceled flight, we have good news for you. U.S. airlines are now required to refund passengers, not just give out vouchers. We have the details coming up in your morning sprint, but first, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth will have your full weather forecast.
The last few years have been tough on Washington families who are facing record prices, and wages just haven't kept up. But it's been a great few years for Congressman Dan Newhouse. Since he first got elected in 2015, his net worth has climbed from $2 million to almost $19 million. How'd he do that? By trading stocks of corporations that he votes to give billions of taxpayer dollars. It's time to put an end to Congressman Dan Newhouse's stock market hot streak.
I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Welcome to the Walla Walla Airport, where you'll experience enhanced convenience. Your gateway to adventure has expanded its security checkpoint and upgraded the departure area for your comfort. With free parking and daily Alaska Airlines flights to Seattle, your travel plans are easier than ever. Whether you're off to relax or to explore, start your journey smoothly with our improved facilities. Create unforgettable memories today. Book now at alaskaair.com. Your next adventure is just a flight away at Walla Walla Regional Airport, where parking is always free.
Maria Cantwell knows prices are too high, and we have to fight back. That's why she passed a law to take on big oil traders spiking gas prices. and why she's fighting grocery store mergers that would lead to higher food prices. Cantwell also took on drug companies and won, capping insulin for seniors at $35 a month and capping seniors' out-of-pocket expenses.
I'm Maria Cantwell, and I approve this message because I'll take on anyone to protect Northwest consumers.
Democrat candidate Maria Beltran led a liberal Seattle group that tried to defund police and allowed chaos and violence to take over the streets. Like Beltran, House candidates Anna Kennedy and Chelsea Demas oppose initiatives that would lower gas prices, end the capital income tax, and allow you to opt out of the expensive long-term care tax. Seattle liberals Maria Beltran, Anna Kennedy, and Chelsea Demas do not share your values and are too extreme for Central Washington.
In his first term, Perry Dozier has delivered significant results as your senator. Perry has stood firm in support of law enforcement and supporting laws that will make our streets safer. Eastern Washington is a leader in energy production. Perry Dozier is fighting to ensure these resources are protected. And as a farmer, Perry knows how devastating inflation is to working families. He's supporting policies to reduce the cost of production and opposing any new taxes.
I'm Perry Dozier, and I will continue to work hard for you.
Now is the time for a new bath from Bathfitter. Every Bathfitter bath is installed quickly, safely, and beautifully with a lifetime warranty. Go from old to new, from worn to wow. The beautiful bath you've always wanted, done right, installed by one expert technician, all in one day. We've been creating moments like these for 35 years, and we're here to help you get started. Book your free virtual or in-home design consultation today.
Be sure and vote. Mail-in ballots must be postmarked by November 5th.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Okay, we've established that Tuesday is going to be a mostly sunny and dry day and a cool day, so we're going to pivot our attention to the storm system for Wednesday through Friday. Starting off with the shower chances for Wednesday and Wednesday night, you can see wet weather is looking pretty likely for most spots for tomorrow. So let's time this out. For the Cascades, this should arrive around 8 a.m. For the valleys, it should arrive around 11 a.m. tomorrow. For the basin, around 2 p.m. and then around 5 p.m. for the foothills. And then we'll continue to have chances for wet weather into Thursday and into Friday. So if you tabulated some of the rainfall projections from Wednesday through Friday, and remember this is subject to change as this is just a model consensus, but the model consensus is that we could get 1.5 inches of water for the Blues, maybe upwards of 1 inch for the Cascades, between 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch for the Blue Foothills, and between 1/4 to 1/2 inch for the valleys and for the basin. Now there could be a wintry element to this, as the snow levels could bounce between 3,500 to 4,500 feet for Wednesday and Thursday. It looks like they'll probably be similar for Friday as well, but by Thursday morning, places off of I-84 like Cabbage Hill and Meacham and Ukiah, which is off of US 395. But those locations could see a little bit of snow, but in terms of the totality of the snow that we'll see from the storm system from Wednesday through Friday, maybe a couple inches for a Cascade passes, less than 1 inch for a Blue Mountain passes, but these are preliminary snowfall projections that are certainly subject to change. Okay, so our weather's going to be pretty active from Wednesday through Friday, and we're not going to be completely dry for this weekend, but definitely a good deal drier as opposed to Wednesday through Friday. We'll be seasonal for today. After that, sub-seasonal high temperatures. It's going to be pretty cool stuff over the next 7 days. Here's the 7-day forecast for the Tri-Cities. Shower chances go up on Wednesday, but especially for Halloween and Friday, turning drier into the weekend. In Yakima, wetter and cooler from Wednesday through Friday, staying cool for this weekend, but mostly drying things out by Saturday. Then for Ellensburg, cold showers on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, just about as cool for this weekend, but not as wet overall. And then for Hermiston, showers arrive during the PM hours of Wednesday, but ramp up for Halloween and Friday. This weekend should be much drier. Then for Walla Walla, chances for wet weather peak this weekend. Chances for wet weather peak this week on Halloween and Friday. Leftover showers for Saturday through Monday, but drier overall. Now let's head out to New York City to see what's ahead on Good Morning America.
In this morning's GMA First Look, Porch Pirate Takedown.
Excuse me!
Watch as an alleged thief snatches a package containing costumes from a porch in Bridgeport, Connecticut. The victims taking matters into their own hands, racing to their car and chasing after the suspect.
Do you want the police called? Give me the package. Drop them.
Overnight, those college students on the other side of the door are speaking out to GMA.
In the moment, it was like fight or flight, and I was like, no package is going to be here if I reorder it. And me and Leora were just like, watched her like jump up and leave, and we're like, okay. And then we jump up and we follow her all the way down into outside. Yeah, we're like, if we're doing this, we're doing it together.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have much more of their story and how to keep your packages safe. With your GMA First Look, I'm Marie-Ann Annali, ABC News, New York.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, show off your clearer skin and less itch. Because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Now, the morning sprint.
Time is now 6:51. It's time for your 6 o'clock morning sprint. We're going to start off in your national headlines. Former Donald Trump aide Steve Bannon is set to get out of federal prison today. Bannon has served his full 120-day sentence for contempt of Congress. He was convicted in 2022 for defying a subpoena in the investigation into the January 6th Capitol attack. His appeal of the conviction is still ongoing. VP Kamala Harris is preparing for the final big address of her campaign. Today's primetime speech will be held in Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump rallied his supporters on January 6, 2021. She will describe her plans for the country, focusing on the economy, which is the top issue for voters. Aides say this is one of the last opportunities for Harris to try and reach what they call conflicted voters. In business news, the world's biggest bank is going after a handful of alleged fraudsters. Over the summer, a scheme involving a Chase Bank ATM blew up on TikTok, and people would deposit large checks that were fraudulent and immediately withdraw money before the checks could bounce. Now JP Morgan is suing 4 customers it says owe nearly $662,000 collectively. Chase is also seeking legal fees and other expenses from the defendants. Airlines are now required to give passengers refunds for a significantly delayed or canceled flight. These new rules started yesterday, and some airlines previously gave out vouchers if problems occurred with their flight. But now airlines must give passengers monetary refunds. This applies to domestic delays of 3 or more hours and international delays of at least 6 hours. Separate rules mandate a luggage fee refund if you don't get your bag by a certain time. Also refunds for prepaid services like seat selection and Wi-Fi if you don't receive them. In health news, in parts of the U.S., RSV is on the rise, especially in young children. Cases of pertussis or whooping cough are 5 times higher than they were at this time last year. The CDC is alerting the public about a surge in cases of walking pneumonia, particularly among preschool-aged children. And in your sports news, coming up this afternoon on our station, the Seattle Kraken will take on the Montreal Canadiens starting at 3:30. This means we won't have Apple Valley News Now at 5. We'll follow with a special primetime newscast after the game. Now we'll go to your top 5 local stories that you need to know this morning. First up, the Richland School District sent out a letter to some current paraeducators stating they plan to cut back on staffing. When we reached out to RSD, they said they made the difficult decision because of current financial constraints and budget challenges. They've reduced staff mainly through attrition, cutting administration by 22.5% and principals by 4%. RSD says staff hired prior to August 26th will most likely not be impacted. The city of Ellensburg's latest addition, Unity Park, is now providing the community with a half-acre gathering space. It's at 4th and Pearl Street, and it's located at the former Rotary Pavilion site. It's an almost $2.7 million project that started back in 2018, and it was paid for through federal COVID relief funds. The city plans to hold different events there, one of them being a movie night. Also, the city of Ellensburg is working to expand its tree canopy, this by using $40,000 from the Department of Natural Resources. Urban trees provide an enormous amount of benefit, from cleaning stormwater to helping cool the temperature. They plan to add more trees, and they're also working on a project to fill a gap in the Palouse to Cascades Trail. For more details on this project, you can visit our website. Washington and Oregon officials are investigating after ballot boxes were set on fire, damaging hundreds of ballots. One happened back on October 8th in Vancouver, and 2 more yesterday in Vancouver and Portland. Police are on the lookout for a Volvo believed to be involved in setting the fires by incendiary devices. And the Spud Nut Shop is no longer just in Richland. The new shop in Kennewick has officially opened as of 5 a.m. this morning. It's off of Edison Street, and they plan on opening even more new locations across the Tri-Cities over the next few weeks. All right, trending this morning, a statue honoring Dwayne Wade was unveiled at the Miami Heat's home arena on Sunday.
Wade is the first player in Heat history to be immortalized with a statue outside the center. The bronze sculpture honors his iconic "This Is My House" celebration from the double overtime win against the Chicago Bulls back in 2009.
But the statue is going viral online because of how it looks, and the statue is about to pop up on your screen. And so one comment on a social media video said it looked more like Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus from the movie The Matrix.
Sorry, I paused, Jessica. I was waiting to see the statue.
There it is.
Yeah, well, however, another person, a local reporter, posted a close-up photo of the statue on X, saying the statue looks much better in person.
What do you think, Josh? Does it look like Dwayne Wade?
He does kind of look like Morpheus. I can't lie.
He looks like Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
Anytime there's a statue unveiling in the news, it's usually never good news. Like, it's never, this statue looks just like them.
It was making headlines like 2 days or a day ago, but now it's like, oh, well, it doesn't really look like him. I think it's funny seeing the person's reaction. He seemed okay with it, but...
You know what? One day on this earth, if I could get a statue, I don't even care if it looks like me.
My face will say it all. But
sure. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick look at the weather. You're going to be frozen like a statue if you go outside without a heavy jacket this morning, and you maybe need an ice scraper in the valleys and for portions of the lower Columbia Basin. A little bit later today, we're going to have plenty of sunshine. We're going to have high temperatures that'll end up being seasonal. 59 for the Tri-Cities, 57 in Yakima, 58 for Hermiston. So in the sunshine at the peak of daytime heating, it's not going to feel too bad out there. So here's the bottom line for the forecast. Mostly dry and sunny for today. Wet weather looking likely for Wednesday, Halloween, and Friday. Will turn drier over the weekend, but not 100% dry, and we're also going to keep it pretty cool.
Rainy weather for Halloween?
It's looking like it. Those are kind of the vibes. We're gonna get better model data over the next 24 hours.
Protect your costume and your little one's costume.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys for watching Good Morning Northwest. You can always find the latest updates on our website. That's applevalleyNewsNow.com.
Good Morning America is up next, and we'll be back with your local news and weather tonight at 5.
After the game. Have a great day.
After the game. Have a good one.